Just after midnight, a fire sparked in a densely packed tenement on the edge of the old textile district. The flames burst violently through the ground floor, consuming the structure before the first rescue units could even arrive. The aging building's design never accounted for the 40 families currently crammed inside its walls. With decades-old wiring and a single narrow internal staircase serving as the only formal exit, the structure was a disaster waiting for a spark. This diagram illustrates what structural engineers call the chimney effect. When a fire breaks out on the ground floor of an enclosed structure, the central stairwell acts as a vertical shaft, rapidly pulling superheated air and flames upward. Within minutes, that thermodynamic draft blocks all top-down exits. The building's only internal escape route becomes an active fuel funnel. The building's singular lifeline had become its deadliest feature. Standard rescue parameters were gone, replaced by a race against a fire that was effectively sealing every exit from the inside out. When operating in these conditions, Incident Command enforces a search and rescue window. This is a strict, non-negotiable operational time limit. This rule relies on grim, data-driven mathematics. It exists exclusively to prevent firefighters from becoming secondary casualties when structural failure is imminent. High on the smoke-choked fourth floor, Fire Officer Deepak Rane was nearing the end of his window. He had 14 years of experience, a partially cleared floor, and exactly 30 seconds of breathable air remaining in his tank. Through the crackling static of his radio, Incident Command issued a direct order. Deepak's unit was to abandon the search and withdraw immediately. But through the roar of collapsing timber, Deepak heard a complication. 2 closed doors away, muffled but unmistakable, a child was coughing. Following protocol guaranteed his survival, but sealed the child's fate. Moving toward that voice meant defying a direct order and attempting a rescue that policy deemed impossible. To understand his next move, we have to pause the clock. At the sound of that cough, Deepak's brain performs a hyper-fast mental calculation. Deepak must instantly compute his oxygen burn rate under extreme exertion against the estimated distance. That 30-second margin is sliced into microfractions, seconds to breach the room, locate the target, and drag them both to the fire escape. Deepak's 14 years of muscle memory allow him to recognize this impossibly thin margin as technically survivable. Where others might see a suicide mission, his experience sees a viable path. Over the radio, Deepak acknowledges the withdrawal order. Then he physically pivots toward the child's voice, moving away from the exit. This was a deliberate, highly calculated gamble. For a matter of seconds, Deepak prioritized his operational instinct over institutional policy. Resume the clock. Deepak breaches the apartment and finds 7-year-old Anjali. She is curled tightly beneath a bed in the smallest bedroom. She is acting on a psychological hiding instinct common in children during structural fires. It works directly against their survival, but experienced officers are trained to anticipate it. With perhaps 15 seconds of air remaining, Deepak pulls her free. He takes his secondary emergency mask and secures it over Anjali's face, sacrificing his own backup supply to protect her lungs. The smoke is now so thick that visibility is 0. Deepak is forced to navigate the final stretch back to the fire escape entirely by spatial memory and touch, feeling his way through the heat. Somewhere in that final descent, his own primary air supply runs out completely. He bursts onto the metal fire escape and collapses to his knees, handing Anjali off to the paramedics waiting below. The rescue succeeded because an experienced officer perfectly executed a mechanized routine, even as his own biological resources failed him. Anjali recovered fully from the smoke within days, while Deepak spent the next 6 hours receiving emergency oxygen treatment, having pushed his body to the absolute limit of what it could endure. Because he exceeded a mandated withdrawal order, departmental protocol automatically triggered a formal internal review. The board reached a complicated conclusion. They formally acknowledged that he had violated a direct order, but recognized that his calculation fell within the bounds of acceptable operational judgment for an officer of his rank. It was a deliberately measured response. Deepak received no disciplinary action, but also no formal commendation. The department avoided praising the outcome to ensure younger recruits wouldn't be encouraged to take similar risks without the same level of training. This bureaucratic outcome highlights the unavoidable friction between rigid institutional safety policies and the chaotic, unscripted reality of saving a singular human life. Deepak refused the media's labels of heroism. Privately, he spent months agonizing over how easily a miscalculation of a single second could have killed them both. Years later, when a teenage Anjali told him she wanted to become a firefighter, Deepak rejected any romanticization of the job. He insisted she understand the unglamorous reality of the work before she ever attempted to earn the uniform. Today, Deepak keeps a single artifact from that night taped inside the door of his station locker, a child's crayon drawing with a single sentence written in uneven handwriting. "Thank you for my 30 seconds." This level of performance is the result of decades of unglamorous, relentless training. It is a single, perfect choice made when the clock finally runs out.